Hey, what's up guys? So they buffed and revamped a lot of the 7 stars. So today we're going to be doing all of the updated showcases on all the 7 stars, as well as ranking them on our tier list. So let's get it cracking. Here we go. But before we get started, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. Help us reach 500k subs to unlock our code unit. It's been a minute, guys, but I know we can get there. Just a few more subs to go. Let's get it, guys. All right, here we go, guys. So starting off, we have the one and only Metal Frieza. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this guy didn't really get changed a whole lot, so we're just gonna go speed run his stats real quick. All right, so we'll just go through real quick. Again, guys, mine does have water affinity on it, so if you want to learn how to do that, let me know in the comments. But stats are not too bad, but I'm gonna be honest, Golden Frieza is now better than him stat-wise, so this guy might get a buff. But of course, guys, self-clone has Unchained, so still very good for a lot of things. All right, still meta for pretty much every single raid mode there is. So I'm gonna give Metal Frieza, we'll give him A tier, Metal Cooler A tier, because I don't think he's meta for infinite mode, so that's gonna put him in the S tier. But he's still a pretty good unit for raid, so solid A tier. All right, next up, guys, we have the one and only Blue Vegeta. Now, Blue Vegeta, he's actually really good for all right, do I have my graphics on for him? Yeah, there we go. So he's actually really good for raid modes, etc. Well, he used to be. 1.2 for 7 is no longer good, but he used to be back in the day. And the problem with him, though, is his stats are just not that good anymore. He really needs a buff. So you're going to see 3.15 for 10 with full AoE. Honestly, kind of mid. So because it's kind of mid, I'm putting him in the D tier now. I think he's one of the worst 7 stars. And personally, I would never waste your money on him. Now, you can use him against Vegito, so I guess that's a thing, but whatever. Now, Broly is another one of the units. It's the same thing with Broly. He is a hybrid unit, but first up, he sucks for raid mode. Look at that, guys. 500k for 7 is not good at all. And then 38.2 for 16 is trash as well. There's units with way better than that, but he does hit airs, which is kind of nice, and he's full AoE. But overall, I'm gonna be honest, guys, Broly is really a mid unit, and his DPS is very low, so I can't really recommend him, but I will show you his effects real quick. There we go, and bang, guys. So yeah, to be perfectly honest, Broly not really that good anymore. D tier. All right, up there. I would say Blue Vegito has a slight edge because he's kind of usable in raids. All right, so next up we have Cell. Now, bro, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Cell is actually cracked out now. All right, look at his new stats. 21.8 for 8 off the rip with no orb. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, guys. Raid mode stats are cracked out too. Look at this, guys. 1.38 million for 8. And wait, is that full AoE too? Come on, guys. His raid mode stats are crazy good. So let's switch the path up so we can actually see it. Here we go. Look at that, and bang, crazy good. And his infinite mode stats are also crazy good now as well. Look at that, guys. 1 million DPS without buff, guys. 1 million. And guess what? You can also place 8 of them. So 8 million DPS. Let me check if this guy has a buff. Yeah, this guy also has a 20% buff, so you have to count that out. But 8 million DPS versus like a little bit over 2 million DPS. This guy, while he's not full AoE, he's doing just so much more damage. It actually makes him cracked. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna put him high in the A tier. He's really good for infinite mode. I'm not quite sure he's meta though. He might be. So he's somewhere between A and S tier. Very good unit. So I'll put him high A tier because he's 1 million DPS is insane. Almost no units have that good DPS in the game. All right, next up we have Naruto. Now we're gonna do a quick comparison here real quick. Look at this, guys. Naruto 2 for 7, and look at this guy. Bruh. Cell is doing so much more damage. I'm gonna be honest, guys. Naruto is trash again as well. Now you can use them together and get this guy right here, Beast Spawner. But look at Beast Spawner's DPS. 17.7 for 6. That's not that good. It's okay. It's just not great. And his range is so small too. So it's kind of hard to recommend him. So I'm gonna be honest, guys. Overall, kind of mid. Now, lastly, we have Sasuke. Now, what made Sasuke special was he's Black Flame and Air. But the thing is, we now have Ichigo, who's also Black Flames and Air. So Sasuke just kind of is mid then. Also, Sasuke is really unusable in raid mode, except for his first upgrade, because $1 million is kind of hard to get. And 1 million for 315k Black Flames isn't even good. So that kind of sucks for Sasuke. So I'm gonna be honest, guys. Updated Sasuke C tier, Naruto D tier, and honestly, yeah, probably like that. And then I think this Kurama just isn't worth it at all. All right, let's go get ourselves the next batch of 7 stars. All right, next up we have Diolo. Now I'm gonna be honest, Diolo, let's just say, look at this. Yeah, that's not that great. And honestly, he's not really even usable for anything. Yeah, I would say he's not really even usable in raids. He's good for gauntlet mode, and his damage isn't even that good either. Look at that. That's kind of mid. That's with a 20% boost. So I would say his saving grace is his ability. So that's the only thing that's good about Devil, is that ability is freaking OP. Because not only does it make the enemies like teleport backwards, it also like stuns them and stuff. So it's a really, really good ability that is meta. But the problem is his damage is just so low. I can't really recommend him for anything but really gauntlet mode, or just for using his ability. So while he is technically S tier still, the only reason he's S tier is just for support ability capabilities. All right, next up we have Princess Appala. Now Princess Appala is kind of the same way. She's not terrible, but she has a few caveats. One, she's only a 4 placement, so that kind of sucks. But she is pretty decent, and she does have a good ability that allows you to remove powerful units, and yeah, I would say powerful units and elemental units. I think that's the only thing you can really remove. Like, you can see these boss units. It doesn't even remove the boss. So, like, it only removes a few of the things. But she does have decent DPS. But honestly, she's really only good for gauntlet mode. And even then, Rimuru is better. So, I think B tier is pretty fair for her. Alright, we got to go move on to a different path now. So, there we go. So, next up, we have Ichigo. Alright, Ichigo is actually not bad. He's a lot better now. He has one caveat though. He only hits air units. So you're gonna see I'm gonna spawn in a normal unit, and you can see Ichigo isn't even hitting it. But after the next update, guys, he is going to be doing black flames. And so let's just say 26.8 million black flames plus buff is gonna be insane. So I don't know if they're gonna change his damage at all, but like if you guys are doing air mode, he is meta. But I'm gonna be honest, he's only meta for air mode. So because he is meta for air mode, we're gonna have to give him some credit where credit's due. Low S tier, but if you're doing any other mode, he's gonna suck. So just keep that in mind, because he's only black flames on air mode. All right, next up we have easy unit, guys, Kakuri. Nothing really changed with Kakuri. Low damage, but full AoE slow. Now, honestly, I think Gecko Moria might be better. So, like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest. If Gecko Moria is better, but Gecko Moria is kind of hard to get. So, easy S tier. All right, probably the most useful out of the 3. So I'll give it high marks. Also good in raid mode and infinite, so props for props are due. All right, next up we have Mob. Now Mob is okay. Mob basically though, his stats are kind of mid, but what makes him good is he has a 7.5 nuke, so 7.5 billion. So we'll spawn a bunch of enemies in, and then nuke, and you can see it does quite a bit of damage. So he's pretty good for damage farming and the like. There is better nuke units out there, but he does have a really, really decent nuke. So, I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest, he's not bad. He does hit airs too, which is kind of nice. But personally, I don't know. I don't think he's quite meta. I'm gonna give him high A tier. I think Cell might be a little bit better because of his Cell's DPS. But Mob's not a bad unit. I just don't know if I would spend my Stardust to get him. All right, Meliodas is another cool unit. Meliodas is decent raid mode stats. All right, look at that, guys. Not bad at all. 600k. It's not great, but it's not bad. But what makes him special is he's hybrid. And you can see as an ability that cuts the enemy's HP in half. You can see that. So as long as it's in the range, it cuts it actually by 60%. So you can combo this with yeah, if you combo him and what's it called, Luffy together, that puts every enemy at 35% HP, which is crazy OP. Crazy OP, guys. So he's a really, really good combo with Luffy. And of course, guys, that easily makes him meta. So very, very good unit right there. Meta for pretty much every mode. Honestly, he's more meta than Kakuri. He's harder to replace than Kakuri. But I guess Kakuri is more useful. So I don't know. S tier rankings, it's kind of hard to tell because a lot of these are support units. So they're good for whatever they're good with. But it's hard to say which one's better because they're both support units. All right, let's hop to the next set. All right, here we go, guys. So next up we have our boy Eisen. Now Eisen's great. Look at his stats, guys. Pretty dang good. All right. I'll show his raid mode stats too if you guys want to see those. Raid mode, honestly, actually, most people will max him out in raid mode. And then he actually gets 2 abilities, one for pretty cheap and one on his last upgrade. All right, his cool ability lets him do this. Basically, it'll spawn in enemies with half the HP. You see, look, HP is 500. It spawns them in with half. I believe it spawns 10 enemies. Or I guess that one was just 5. So it's pretty useful for higher waves when the enemies have like gazillions of HP. Also, it slaps pretty much any raid. So as long as you get Eisen down, you can pretty much beat any raid. Also, his DPS isn't even that bad. Yeah, honestly, his DPS is pretty good. So it's hard to really complain with that DPS. And plus, of course, guys, he does have Hypnosis Reverse, which rewinds the units, which is pretty cool. So I'll show you. I'll show that in action, actually. So let me go get a bunch of things spawned. Yeah, you see it. It'll do the reverse thing, which is pretty cool. So honestly, technically speaking, he is a meta unit. So easily S tier and very good for raids as well. I'd probably say he's more useful than all of these guys. All right, next up, we got Zoro. Now, Zoro actually got a pretty massive buff. All right, look at this, guys. So the thing about Zoro is he's now only single placement. But look at this, guys. His stats are cracked. 14.8 million hybrid bleed. Yes, sir, guys. That is busted OP, making him one of the highest DPS units in the game. Also, I think he might be one of the best highest air DPS units in the game as well. This guy is straight up cracked. So Zoro, easy S tier. Honestly, guys, highest damage of all of these units right now. Very, very good. Also meta for every single mode, and honestly recommended for every single mode. The only downfall with him right now is he got a little bit expensive. He now costs 14.36 million a max, which is quite a lot, but it's worth it. All right, next up we have Deku and this guy. Now I'm gonna be honest, I'll just speed run their showcases real quick because they haven't changed at all. So and they're unobtainable. So Deku, basically he can do slow, stun. You just gotta pick the ability, and he also is a weak buff unit, really weak buff unit. So he kind of sucks in that regard. Also, all of his attacks are just kind of mid, and his DPS is kind of mid too. Look at that, 300,000 DPS. Like Cell's doing like triple that. And then this guy has this cool DK ability, which is affordable in story mode. And basically, what DK does is it does like a little bit of damage every like half a second. It's like percentage basis, but it's actually pretty weak. So it's not that great of an ability. So I'm gonna be honest, guys. If you have them, you have them. But I don't think these guys are meta for anything right now. I can't really recommend ever bringing them, to be honest. So I'm just gonna have to throw them in the D tier. Plus, they're unobtainable. So if you have them, you have them. If you don't, I don't know if you'll ever be able to get them again. All right, next up we have Tandro. Very cracked out for raid mode. Look at these raid mode stats. 500k plus Sunburn. Sunburn actually sucks though. It's actually really mid. It's like as good as Poison, and Poison's the worst effect. But overall, he's a really good unit, I can't lie. And he's also hybrid, so. Now, Infinite Mode, he has a lot better of AoE. Let me show you his effects. He has a lot better AoE. But the problem with that is his DPS isn't insane. But Sunburn is kind of cool because it also slightly slows the units. So that's kind of his claim to fame. Also, he is a hybrid, so that's pretty nice as well. Because he is probably the best Sunburn unit in the game, you got to put him in the S tier. But I probably think he's not that great of a unit to bring. He's not bad, though. He'll definitely get you a wave or two extra. All right, next up we have Gohan. Now, I'm sorry, Gohan, but bro, Gohan is doo-doo right now, man. I ain't gonna lie. This dude, close to 500,000 DPS, but that's after 20 waves of raging. First price, everything, you might as well just bring Cell. So I definitely think Gohan is getting a buff soon, but as of right now, he sucks. Like, sucks. Like, I can't ever recommend him. He's not even good in raid mode. Like, he sucks for raid mode too. He's literally doo-doo for everything. So I'll put him maybe better than these guys, but like, bro, please don't get Gohan. Wait for the buff. Like, let's be real. All right, let's go do the next set of units. All right, guys. So next up we have Sid. Now, Sid also does have a female form, Ombra. They're the same unit. All right, same stats. I think you could actually bring both of them, which is interesting. Stats-wise are really good, though. Really cracked out for story mode. Plus, he has the dark element, so he's meta raids easily. And also, he has some really decent bleed damage. Now, you're going to see it's actually less than Zoro's, but it's pretty close. But what makes him better than Zoro is, I would probably say, the fact that he has this amazing nuke ability. So I would say he's kind of up there with Zoro. Less damage and doesn't hit airs, except for his ability, which does hit airs, but he's a ground unit. So overall, like, I'd say he is a good unit. But he does have a few downsides. So as long as you're okay with the downsides, highly recommended unit. So I'll give Sid easily. I'd probably say Sid's right up there with Zoro. You guys can pick which one you like better. Next up, we have the one and only Guts. Guts has some pretty insane DPS. And the nice thing about Guts is he's full AoE, but the other problem with Guts is he isn't good for raid mode. Like his stats are set up that he is pretty much unusable. But what's nice about him is he has Rupture and he has full AoE and he has good range, 95 range. So a very, very good unit to use. Very high DPS. All right, you can't really complain. Easily S tier. Honestly, I don't know where he should be. He's up here. I'd probably say he's right up there with Ombra and them. I like Ombra better though. I'd probably say Ombra has the edge over even Zoro because Ombra is also good in raid mode as well, while Zoro and Guts are unusable in raid mode. I mean, I guess Zoro's maybe usable now, but like, let's just be real, guys. Ombra is better for raid mode. All right, next up we have this guy who's basically meta. One, you're gonna see for the stats only 56k. He's doing 700k damage, which is good damage, and he also slows air units. Let's just say not a lot of units slow air units in the game. It's him and Ichigo, and then like Zero with an ability. So because of that, he's meta. No other unit is as good as him, and he also has really good DPS as well, like really freaking good DPS. So overall, a great unit to have. I'm gonna be honest, really, really good. Now it's hard to rank him because he's a support unit, but let's just say don't sleep on him. He's really good. All right, next up we have Zoro. We have Kirito. Kirito is really good for raids as well. Like really good. Full AoE, madness damage. Look at this, guys. 5, like really good full AoE damage. And then even maxed out, he has some really good DPS as well. Plus he has crits, which increases his DPS even more. And he's also a hybrid unit. So it's kind of hard to complain with him. But I will be honest, his DPS is not as high as a lot of these other units. Also, he is single placement as well. All right, so is Guts and Sid. But so for all those things combined, Kirito is a good unit. I just don't think he's that good. Next up, we have Boros. All right, Boros, I'm going to be honest, he's also mid as well, in my opinion. Again, unusable in raid mode. And pretty good stats. Pretty similar to Kirito's stats. Except he has a big AoE, and Kirito has a cone AoE. So they're fairly comparable. Even comparable pretty much in every way. But this guy also costs about like almost 20 million to max, 19 million. So that's a little bit ridiculous. So because of all those things combined, I can't really recommend Boros. I think I like Kirito has the edge in my opinion. All right, that's not Boros. Kirito has the edge in my opinion. All right, next up we have Boo. Now Boo is just cracked out completely. I'm not gonna lie, look at this. All right, he has time stop for only 20k. Really good. Really good stats. Deadly Rain. Look at this guy. Super cheap, full AoE, good DPS. 100k DPS, full AoE. Yeah, yes, please. And then, of course, guys, he has Sleep as well. And he's also the best time stop unit in the game. And Sleep is OP. Only 2 million bucks. Now your HP on the base is 5 billion. That's insane for every mode in the game. So for that reason, honestly, like, he definitely is the most useful. Like, he's the only 7-star that's, like, meta for everything. But I don't know, man. He's up there with Sid, in my opinion. But technically, he's a support unit, though. But overall, I would say he might have the chance of being the best 7-star. No other unit is as meta as him for as many modes. So you got to give him some credit where credit's due. But it is also true that I would mainly consider him a support unit and not a damage unit. Even though his DPS isn't bad. His DPS is 500,000. So, like, 500,000 DPS ain't bad. Not bad at all. All right, let's go check out the last set of units. All right, next up we have Goku and Vegeta 7-star. Another good unit. All right, this one's actually sellable with the nuke Energy Bomba, but the problem with Energy Bomba is you got to charge it up. Now the nice thing about this unit is it is actually kind of usable in raids. So you're gonna see like 400k for, it's not terrible, but not really that usable. Okay damage and hybrid, and this nuke does do 10 billion damage per enemy on the map, so that is a pretty good thing overall. But the only problem I'd say with this is you have to wait for Energy Bomba to charge, which kind of makes it hard to use. So you have to make sure you get him down early enough where he's able to take out a bunch of units. So for that reason alone, he is technically a good unit in meta, so I'll drop him in S tier. All right. Next up, we have the man, the myth, the legend. We got Luffy 7-star, another great unit. All right, really, really good for raid modes, guys. Really good, like cracked out for raids. Look at this hybrid. 8 million for 6. That's really good for raids. He'll slap most bosses. Plus, he's a good combo with God Zamasu. Really good. And then, of course, guys, a little bit expensive, but meta. Look at this, guys. 4 million DPS without any, like, buffs or anything. Really good. All right. And then, of course, guys, he got Liberation, which basically teleports enemies back from killing you in your base. And Fifth Form Gun, which does 25%. All right. So it's probably the best way to get damage in the game. This is how people got, like thousands of trillions of damage in the game. So very, very OP ability. Very highly recommended unit, guys. Meta support, but not quite meta DPS, but still not bad DPS, especially considering it also hits air units as well. So not bad at all. Here's the effects if you guys want to see it. There we go. So not a bad unit, guys. I'd say easily S tier. Honestly, up there as well. Very good unit. All right. So next up, we have Poochie. Now, Poochie is another support unit. This one you can place 8 of, though. Has a couple abilities that are pretty cool. Time acceleration, which is something that deals with bleed and stuff. And then you get universe reset, which teleports every enemy back to the start, but also makes them have full HP. So pretty interesting. Not bad at all. So pretty cool overall, guys, I'd say. Not bad. All right, next up we have, and obviously meta though, guys. It's a meta support unit. What can I say? All right, there's a lot of meta support units in the game. That's why S tier is kind of clogged up, because they're all technically meta, so I have to give them credit where credit's due. Otherwise, people get mad at me. Actually, I don't really care about that. It's more like they deserve it. Now, this guy is cracked out for raids, but I'd say Rengoku's better for raids because he has more upgrades that are affordable. Huh? Only 8 million? Is that right? I don't remember it being that light. Did they nerf him? Only 8 million. Huh. I thought it was more than that. Huh. Did they nerf him? You can change his attack, though. So he has different things. 23 for 3.5. There we go. Not bad. I guess I don't know. He's okay. But he does. You can even have him single target if you want. And then AoE first. And then this is his. I think this is his, like, normal attack. Yeah, he's not bad, I'd say. He's okay. And he does hit airs, I believe, on the first one. So he's not a bad unit. I'd probably say he's the best burn unit in the game, though. So because he's the best burn unit in the game, you gotta give him S tier. Now, I'd probably say he's up there with Guts. You guys can let me know which one you like better, him or Guts. All right, next up we have Giordano. Okay, I'm just gonna speed run it. Let's just be real, guys. The only reason you're gonna use Giordano is because of Holy Selection. Full map, perfect buff, guys. Does not buff range, though, but it buffs 300%. And no other unit in the game buffs 300%. So, obviously S tier, guys. Obviously S tier. Pretty high up there, too. I don't know. And don't worry about S tier order, guys. It's complicated. It's not a big deal either. Next up, we have the Path. So, let's go see what this guy's DPS is. This guy's, and also he's cracked out for raid mode, too. Could you buy this upgrade? And all of a sudden, you have all these random buddies, too. It's pretty cool. So, I'm going to see if we can somehow figure out what his DPS is. 88 for 24. All right, upgrade these. If you're able to upgrade them all, they're all kind of expensive. I'm not gonna lie. Might be the most expensive unit in the game, or pretty close to Boros' price. Look at this, guys. You can heal the base 52 million. He's not even quite max level yet, but pretty close to. And then you got this too. So he has a bunch of random units as part of him. So I'm gonna be honest, it's pretty high. And then of course, guys, you get Holy Selection as well. So let's go fire off. Oh, and also you get skeletons. I forget which one of this guy spawns the skeletons, but I think it's the single target one. I think it's this one, if I remember correctly. I don't know how often he spawns them. Let me see. Oh, maybe it's every time you click the ability. That's my theory. Let's try it out. No, I don't know when it spawns the skeletons, but this one I think spawns skeletons. All right, anyways, this guy does so much just random stuff. With Holy Selection, he's doing 353. So that's not even with the right orb and stuff. I mean, that is with the right orb. But, like, it's not with the right, not with leader buff. With leader buff, it's doing, like, 420 million, which is insane. Plus, all these random guys added up together with all their DPSs and stuff. Like, I'll be honest, I think he's definitely... Does he hit airs? Yeah, he does hit airs. I'd probably say he's better. He's a better Boros, if I'm being honest. So, he's actually a really good unit in the game. I think definitely you guys are going to want to bring him. So easily, I'd say S tier for him as well. I don't think he's the best Shin in the game, but one of the best. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know, guys, who your favorite 7-star is and what 7 stars should they add. Catch you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, and peace.